Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Elden Ring and I'm bringing you the top 9 quality daggers. So these are the daggers that do not require any intelligence, faith, or arcane to use, just dexterity and strength. And I'm going to be ranking them based on their stats, from 9 being the worst, 1 being the best, and I'll be showing you the exact locations of how to get them, at least when applicable. So let's just dive on in and start off with number 9, the Celebrant's Sickle, which you can see I'm wielding here, and it's obviously named a sickle, so it shouldn't be surprising that it's shaped like one instead of a dagger, but it still is part of the dagger class. As far as attributes required to use this one, it's 6 for strength and 11 for dexterity. We have a B rating for dexterity scaling, so it scales pretty well with dex, and an E for strength, so pretty poorly with strength. No passive effects on this one. The attack power is 407, so not too terribly great there. This one does come with the quick step weapon art and can be upgraded with Ashes of War. So again, like anything with the quick step, it's going to allow you to move around kind of quickly. As far as how and where to get this one, you're going to want to come over here in the Altus Plateau region to the Dominula Windmill Village, and you have to kill the Celebrants here. So they're gonna wield a variety of different weapons, and some of them are going to have the Celebrant Sickle. So you can see we've got cleavers, skull hammer looking things. You basically just keep killing them until you find the ones that have the dagger, which some of them will have. And I don't know if they all have a chance of dropping it, because I've picked it up a number of times, but you can see I just killed one that has it. This one here has it. Basically, I just kill them all because it's a great grinding spot for getting a lot of runes anyway. Not too terribly difficult anyway. So you just keep coming up here to the village and wiping out all the celebrants, and then keep respawning until you get it. And eventually you will get it. So that's number 9, the Celebrant Sickle. Let's move on to number 8. Alright, so next up at number 8, we have one of my favorite looking ones in the game, just, appearances wise, the Parrying Dagger. And I like this one because it actually has a pretty realistic look. Now, obviously it's a bit wide, but it is a thrusting dagger, well, parrying primarily, so it's meant to stop larger weapons and parry them, but it wouldn't be a slashing weapon anyway, so the thickness of this blade does not disturb me that much. As far as attributes required to use this one, it's going to be 5 for strength and 14 for dexterity. We're going to have a B rating for dexterity scaling, so pretty dang good, and an E for strength, so pretty bad there. Our attack power on this one is going to be 411, so a little bit better than the last. This one just has the parry weapon art, which makes sense given that it's the parrying dagger, and can be upgraded using Ashes of War. So as far as how and where to get this one, it can be purchased from patches. And now basically there's multiple places you can find him. At the beginning of the game, you'll find him over here in Limgrave in Murkwater Cave, and once you've completed a laughably easy boss fight with him and let him live, then you can purchase it from him there. Or once he's left there, you'll be able to find him over here in Liurnia on the Scenic Isle, and if he's left there, you have to find him up here in Volcano Manor, which is where he currently is for me. So if you're in Volcano Manor, you just go into the entryway. He'll be crouched here on the floor. You can purchase it from him here for 1,600 runes, so that's how you get the Parrying Dagger. Like I said, you just have to go to any of the locations where he normally will be, and you'll be able to purchase it from him. That's number 8. Let's move on to number 7. Alright, so at number 7 we have the Great Knife, which is another dagger that I actually quite like. It just looks like an oversized Bowie knife, which is pretty fun, and definitely speaks more towards slashing rather than stabbing or even parrying. So pretty cool looking in my opinion. As far as attributes required to use this one, it's going to be 6 for strength and 12 for dexterity. It has a B rating for scaling and dexterity and E for strength, so again, it's going to scale much better with dexterity than strength. This one does have a passive effect, and that is that it causes 38 points of blood loss build up, so pretty great there. The attack power for the Great Knife is 394, but again, we do deal a significant amount of blood loss build up, which is pretty nice. This one starts off with the quick step weapon art, which is again a pretty fun one, and I like using it a lot when I'm doing dagger builds, but it can be upgraded using Ashes of War, and given the relatively low attack power damage, I would definitely recommend getting some pretty good high damage ashes on here to do probably a lot of bleed damage, just because daggers really lend themselves to bleed build. As far as how to get this dagger, it is you can obtain it 2 ways. Basically, you can either start out as a bandit and then you'll start out with one of them, or you can hunt demi-humans who wield it, and it is a pretty rare drop, but if they wield it, they have a chance of dropping it. So there's a couple places to go. The Lakeside Crystal Cave is one place, but I like the Craftsman's Shack up here in Mount Gelmir, because if you start from here and you look across to this flock of sheep, there are a number of demi-humans over here, and I think all of them wield it, so you just have to keep killing them until one of them will eventually drop it. And the beauty is once you've killed the demi-human queen over here, they are all docile and can just be killed. So it's pretty fun, but you'll find 2 over here and then 2 more over here. So basically you just keep spawning in at the Craftsman's Shack Site of Grace and killing them over and over again, and eventually one of them will drop it. So that is number 7, the Great Knife. Let's move on to number 6. All right, so next up at number 6, we have just the Dagger. And again, we have one that actually looks pretty dang good. Again, it's much too wide for a dagger, but other than that, general appearance-wise, it's pretty cool looking. As far as attributes required to use this one, it's 5 for strength, 9 for dexterity. We once again have a B rating for dexterity scaling and a D for strength, so it's slightly better than other ones, so this one scales just a little bit better. Our attack power on this one is 426, so the best one so far. It has the quick step weapon art on it by default and can be upgraded using Ashes of Ore. Now, as far as how to get this one goes, there's one foolproof method and then one grinding method. So basically, any soldier anywhere on the map that wields this has a chance to drop it, so that's quite a few of them. Also, over here in Murkwater Cave, you'll come across a number of highwaymen. Most of them wield it, so any of them have a chance to drop it. Over here, where I'm at by the War Master Shack, if you just head east of here to a camp, there's quite a few soldiers that wield it, so I'll just show you what they look like. But you can see this guy right here was wielding it, so anytime you find the foot soldiers like that are wielding it, they have a chance to drop it. Like I said, also highwaymen. But there is one foolproof way to get one of them per playthrough, and that way is by coming to the Round Table Hold and purchasing it from the Twin Maiden Husks. And you can purchase it here for 400 runes. So you can grind for it, or you can come here and buy it, or you could do both if you want a pair of them. But that is how you get the dagger. That's number 6. Let's move on to number 5. So at number 5, we have a lot of people's favorite dagger, the Misericorde. So this one is one that looks pretty dang cool. It's got a standard kind of cruciform look to it. I like the blade. It's got like a diamond cross section that's pretty cool looking, even though it's a 3-sided one. So unique shape, but pretty dang cool. As far as our attributes required to use this one, it's going to be 12 for dexterity and 7 for strength. We're going to get a C rating in dexterity, so not quite B, but still alright, and E for strength. This one for attack power has 423, so slightly lower than the dagger, but we do have a critical of 140. So if you're using this for stealth attacks or just using it as an offhand crit weapon, this one has the highest crit rating in the game, or at least as far as I'm aware it does. It starts with the quick step weapon art, but can be upgraded using Ashes of Ore. My personal favorite way to upgrade this one is by doing the Bloodhound step and giving it the Blood Affinity, giving it an 82 point of blood loss buildup, and also helping it scale with Arcane, and then having the Bloodhound step as an option. There's lots of ways you can upgrade it, but that's my personal favorite way to do it. But yeah, the Misericorde, pretty solid weapon. As far as how to get this one, it's going to be over here in Stormvale Castle. And starting from the Rampart Tower site of Grace, I will just show you the path of how to get there. And once you've made your way into this armory, I believe it's on this corpse lying on the ground over here, but if it's not on this corpse, it'll be on this one lying over here. It's on one of these corpses in this armory. So just showing you the location on the map. We're right next to the Rampart Tower, so it's kind of hard to distinguish, but you just come down the lift, make it into the room with the Grafted Scion, or where the Grafted Scion would be if I hadn't already killed it, and immediately turn left. There will be a barrier at the entrance of this room here. You'll have to dispel a barrier with some stone sword keys, but once you do, you can come in here and just pick it up off the corpse. So that is how you get the Misericorde. As far as I know, that's the only place in the game to get it, so it is a 1 per playthrough weapon. So that is number 5, the Misericorde. Let's move on to number 4. Alright, so up at number 4, we have the Bloodstained Dagger, which is, you know, just kind of a knife-looking weapon. Not a whole lot special to say about it. It hooks up a little bit at the end. Looks like it would be primarily for slashing. Attributes required to use this one are 9 for strength and 12 for dexterity. We have a B rating for strength scaling, so this one actually scales quite a bit better with strength than most daggers, and D for dexterity. We do have a passive effect, and that is that it causes 38 points of blood loss buildup. Our attack power for the Bloodstained Dagger is 439, and it starts with the quick step weapon art and can be upgraded using Ashes of Ore. So it's a pretty solid dagger, one of the best in the game for sure. As far as how to get this, it is a random drop from demi-human chiefs, and you can find one of them in front of a bridge over here in the Weeping Peninsula. So over here by the minor Erd tree here, if I'm remembering correctly, it's this bridge right here, but it doesn't matter because that's not the best place to grind them anyway. The best place to grind them is going to be over here by the Primeval Sorcerer Azure, because towards the Hermit Village there are 2 of them, 2 of these enemies that have this weapon and therefore have a chance to drop it. So if you come over here, you start from that site of grace and just hug the southern wall. You can come through here and you'll find 2 of them and be able to kill them. So you can see one of them lying down right here that we're gonna get up to and quickly cut apart. And this guy's got a chance to drop it. And then if you head out into the open here, there will be another one sitting here on the ground. And you can also take out this one, and that one also has a chance to drop it. Ooh, we dropped something. Ah, it's rainbow stones, but what are you gonna do? So that is how you get this weapon, or at least the best grinding method I've come up with for it, but that's all for number 4. Let's move on to number 3. All right, so at number 3 we have how I believe it's pronounced, the Cinquedea, and I believe this is based on a Italian weapon from the Renaissance. Hard for me to remember for sure, but I feel like I remember seeing this on a TV show once. But it's just a really, really wide weapon, at least at the base, so I would have to go with chopping and slashing for the attack types meant for this weapon. Attributes required to use this one are going to be 10 for dexterity and 10 for strength. We have a D rating for dexterity scaling, but B for strength, so this is going to be another one that scales much better with strength. Our attack power on this one is 527, so significantly higher than the last, and in fact, it's the highest out of all on this list. It starts with the quick step weapon art, but cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, so it definitely loses some status, in my opinion, because of that. As far as how to get this one, I will show you the exact process, but first of all, we're starting up here at the Bestial Sanctum in Caelid, so just follow the path that I will show you now. And so that is how you do it. So you just have to make your way down the side of the Bestial Sanctum without killing yourself or your horse. But again, we're right here. So if you look on the map, that is where we are. And you can pick it up off of this weird-looking beast type thing sitting here on the ground. But that's how you get the Cinquedea. That's number 3. Let's move on to number 2. All right, so at number 2, we have the dagger of choice for weebs, the Wakizashi. So this one is, I mean, I'm sure somebody will know, but whatever the dagger that samurais use, maybe it's called a Wakizashi. I literally don't know. But like I said, definitely the weeb weapon of choice, and arguably one of the best daggers in the game. As far as attributes required to use this one, it's strength of 9, dexterity of 13. We have a passive effect, and that is that it causes 38 points of blood loss buildup. Dexterity scaling of C and strength of D, so we're back to a dagger that scales much better with dexterity. Our attack power on this one is 475, so pretty dang good. It has the quick step weapon art on it initially, but can be upgraded using Ashes of War. So all in all, pretty solid weapon. As far as how and where to get this one, you're going to have to come over here to Caelid and make your way to, I have to assume that's pronounced Jail Cave, considering that the Ever Jails are pronounced that way and spelled the same way, so Jail Cave here. And basically you just have to make your way through the cave. It's going to be in one of the locked cells. Now, I could be wrong because it's been a while since I've grabbed this weapon, but I believe you can do it right here. So you just go through the cave following the only path there is until you get to the section where it splits. Then you have to continue down this path all the way up and around until you come up there and are able to pull that lever, which will unlock and open all the doors in this cave, including this one here. And I think, like I said, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it's inside this cage, the one immediately to the right of there. I think it's on this guy in the back. At least this guy has something. But if it's not on him, it's in one of the other cells in this cave. It's not a very big cave. Wish I could be more specific than that, but I looted this cave very early on in this playthrough, and I cannot for the life of me remember exactly which of the cells that this was located in. But once you've opened up all the cages, you can just check them out one at a time, and it is in this cave. So that is the Wakizashi, which comes in at number 2. Let's move on to the number 1 best quality dagger in the game. Alright, so finally at number 1 we have the Scorpion Stinger, which is this real goofy looking weapon that I just have to assume is supposed to look like a scorpion stinger, given the name and the fact that it kind of looks like a pokey part of a bug, and has little hairy things sticking off of it. As far as our attributes required to use this one, it's going to be 6 for strength, 12 for dexterity. This one causes 50 points of Scarlet Rot buildup, has a dexterity scaling of B and strength of D. So strength isn't as bad as a lot of them, but dexterity is definitely better than a lot of them, so this one scales really well. Our attack power on this one is 507, being the second highest after the Cinquedea, but this one has the advantage of causing Scarlet Rot buildup, which is why it edged out the other two and took the number 1 spot. It has the repeating thrust weapon art, which is pretty useful, if not the best one in the game. It is pretty great for obviously building up a lot of Scarlet Rot all at once if you hit all of the thrusts on one target. Unfortunately, it cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War. So that's that weapon art just looks like this. After a slight buildup, you do quick several jabs that, like I said, the best thing about it is building up a lot of Scarlet Rot on larger enemies that are susceptible to it. So as far as how to get this weapon goes, you need to have made your way to the Ainsel River region and all the way through it to get to the Lake of Rot. Then you need to make your way through the Lake of Rot all the way to the Grand Cloister. And starting from there, I will show you the path of how to get to the spot where you can grab this weapon. Alright, and so you just have to make your way past those pests. Probably smart to just kill all of them, but I hate fighting the pests. All the way until you get to this building at the end of the Grand Cloister, and then you just open up this chest, and it can be found inside here. So that is how and where you get the Scorpion Stinger, and that is number 1 on this list, bringing us to the end. So that was all 9 of the quality daggers in the game. I hope you enjoyed this list and found it useful if you were looking for this type of weapon. But that's all for today, so we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.